Hey, it's Rob. Welcome to Axel's Garage. We're in Axel's basement workshop right now, and a couple videos ago you remember we put up some lights, and we're actually running some electric now. So I got this strip, this outlet strip that's got 6 single gang receptacles on it, and they are orange. I don't know where this came from. I got it secondhand somewhere, but they're an isolated ground circuit. It's 115 volt, 12 outlet, 20 amp with junction box, isolated ground. So there's two grounds coming out of it. It's pre-wired, and there's two grounds coming out. One's a green ground and one is green with a yellow stripe, which is for the isolated ground, I would assume. Made a phone call to a buddy of mine who is an electrician. I am not an electrician. This is not electrical advice. This is just a project that we're working on in our basement. So I called him and I said, how do I wire it? We're not using any kind of isolated ground. I think this came out of a hospital or something like that. Or somewhere where isolated ground is important. I have no idea even why you would need isolated ground. I'm sure somebody knows. You can put it in the comments below. But anyway, I was told just wire it, tying the two grounds that it's pre-wired with together into your ground circuit. You're not going to have isolated ground. You just have a regular ground, but that's all you need. And then we're just going to wire it like we would normally wire a junction box. So we're going to have four ground wires, and it's the two coming out of the pre-wired strip, the one from our feed or our line, which is the bare copper, and then a green one which is hitting the back of the metal box. I'm a wire nut person. I've always used wire nuts. I've never done anything else but wire nuts. That's the way I was taught. I twist them before I nut them. I don't just stick them in the nut and twist. That's the way I was taught. Like I said, I'm not an electrician. I do electrical work around the house, my own stuff, not really for anybody else, because I just try to make it safe, and when I have a question, I call an electrician. Or if I have a big project, I have an electrician do it. But if I have a question on something small like this that I'm doing, I'll call a buddy of mine who's an electrician. So anyway, instead of using wire nuts, we're trying these Wagos or Wagos or something like that. There's the brand, Wago, Wago. They do meet the National Electric Code. You just have to order the ones that you need and the right size. So instead of using wire nuts, they're these push-in connectors. So you're going to strip your wire back. They're all 7/16. They have a lot of metric dimensions on them as well, but they're 7/16 is how much you need to strip back. So if you're doing it manually, eyeball 7/16. If not, and you're using an adjustable wire stripper, adjust it so that it's about 7/16. I just did it by eye, a little less than a ½ inch, which is 7/16. And they're push-in connectors. So you're just going to push the wire. You're going to take your wire and you're going to push it in the hole of the connector. And this is a four-way, which the specs on this one go up to 12 gauge wire. Here's the same on a two-way. Alright, so it's two holes. It'll do 12 to 18 gauge wire. And then the three-way, the only way I could find them was these bigger ones, which can go from 10 gauge to 18 gauge. So we're using 12 gauge wire on this 20 amp circuit, and this is all I'm going to need. So I need a four-way to tie the grounds together, and I need two ways for the neutrals and for the hots. And I'm going to move the camera, and I never used them before, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I got my four ground wires that have to go together, and they're pretty much all about the same length. They're about 5-6 inches, about 6 inches or so. And I'm going to, they say you push them in, you could see through them that they went all the way in. You know, the one with no insulation is a little harder to grab, but it went all the way into the back of the unit. And then you just give it a tug, not a twist, to make sure that they're seated in all the way. So I got that one in all the way. And when you cut this, when you strip the wire back to 7/16, there is no, I mean, these are ground, so it doesn't matter, but there's no exposed wire. And then I'll get this one. Alright, and then just give each one a last tug to make sure they're secure. You can see all the wires in the connector, and then we'll just roll these in and get them in the back of the box there. So we got them in nice in the back of the box. And then I don't need the three-way in this situation, I just need these two-ways, which are the 773-162. Like I said, this one is, it's 12 to 18 gauge solid and 12 to 16 gauge stranded. You can't use it for fine stranded, you could use it for standard stranded. Again, these are 7/16, so go in and make sure that it's seated all the way. And push it in. And then we can roll these out of the way nice. And the reason why you don't want to twist them in is because that's how you actually remove wires from these push-in connectors is with a twisting fashion, so that will release it, and you can reuse it. You just have to double check that pull to make sure it's in all the way. And these go in there pretty good. And there's no exposed wire and no twisting of wire nuts. Alright, so that went in easy. Like I said, if you're an experienced electrician, wire nuts are probably just as fast. These are more expensive than wire nuts, so for a homeowner or a do-it-yourselfer who's only doing a little bit, it's worth it to save that time and the effort of twisting the wires and then wire nutting them. You know, when it's just two wires, it's not a big deal. When it's especially like 14 gauge, two wires is no big deal. But when you start doing like 3 or 4 wires, 12 gauge, you know, for a do-it-yourselfer who doesn't do it all the time, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. This makes it much easier. I really like these. They're nice and secure. They really lock in there tight, and you can undo them if need be. And now all I need to do is cover this up. Tighten down my screws. And then follow the line back, because I do have a couple more boxes to hit on the way to the power source. So that's the Wago or Wago connector. Like I said, here's the box, here's the logo, and I'll put a link to the stuff that we used in the description below. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.